Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, HP Maharaj, and we back at it again with the traffic. Maybe I can show you a little bit of the traffic. Too much traffic. Anyways, so today's topic is going to be about dealing. Obviously, everything's about dealing. But people who are dealing with people who are not open-minded, and why you should strive not to be one of those people. So I just want to say that, there's, several experiences that people experience, several people that people come across, and they come in a different environment, right? Let's say, it's generally the case with Indian people, where people from India have it's a different culture, different ideology, a different sort of rules and regulations that come without the, they come over here to the United States, which is a completely different environment, right? And especially people that come from very conservative backgrounds, people who have been raised a certain way are raised to think a certain way as well. And those thoughts and views and perspectives also stick with them. Some people who come in new environments, there are two types of people who come into new environments and adapt. So the first type of person that comes into a new environment with different types of people, with a mix of cultures, with a mix of ideologies, a mix of different thinkings, they come in and are open-minded and respect the fact that other people have different views of themselves and the world, and they see the world differently, and they respect the uniqueness aspect of viewing the world for every single different person coming from a different upbringing in a different environment. They understand that. Great. That's the type of person that I'm trying to strive to be, and that's what I'm trying to push other people to see, that you need to be a little bit more open-minded to see other people in the light that they have a different perspective on the world. Now, the second type of person is a person that comes from a background, is raised in a very particular, disciplined, such and such crazy, I wouldn't say, sorry, not crazy, because it is one way to raise people, but they come from a background and an environment that has been raised, and they have been raised to think a certain way, and they also expect and do not respect others leading a different type of life, going down a different sort of path, although they might be, in respect. So those people are, like, I would say, the closed-minded people who are not trying to look to become more progressive in terms of accepting other people's views and perspectives, which are maybe minorly tweaked compared to how they were brought up in, a different environment. And that's sort of very, it's painful actually, really, because when people stop accepting other people's views and opinions, and stop accepting basically how other people want to live their life, then it becomes a real big problem, a real big issue, and it doesn't let people live freely, and it doesn't, then there's no point of freedom, then you can't talk about these subjects, and it sort of disqualifies you as a human being. Forget about religion, forget about politics. If you're not going to allow people to experience the world like they want to, yeah, man, maybe they're going down the wrong path, right? Maybe people, you see it, that they're not learning from other people's experiences, as I talked about in the previous video, learning from other people's experience. If they're not willing to understand that the stove is hot, and they still go ahead and place their hand on the stove and realize and actually go under the experience and feeling of the hot stove, if they want to go down that track, nobody should stop them from doing so. In my opinion, I think people should be allowed to explore, interact, react with the world in the way that they feel is right. Nobody should be putting extra pressure or extra barriers, borders, so that people think in the way that they want them to think. It's a very important topic, and unfortunately a lot of people have misused their power, sort of say, their whole leverage. Some people have leverage over other people, and it's actually quite ridiculous. I think it's very common in the parent-child relationship, where it's like, you know, the child has sort of a different, I'm seeing it here in the States, where the child has a different sort of perspective on how to tackle the world. I mean, even me and like my parents, obviously we have differences, but it's not that, you know, everyone's supposed to be boggled down and you can only think in the way that we think. No, there should be more freedom, more respect for people, and if they're going to go down the wrong path, even despite knowing that other people are saying it's the wrong path, then they should be let gone in that path, unless it's obviously very serious. But that's a very edge case scenario. But anyways, that's what I really wanted to say, is like, become more open-minded about letting people pursue, view, and synthesize the world in the way that they feel is the right way to navigate the world. Do not limit anybody from, you know, going about the world in the way that they see fit. So life is short, as I always say, man. 100 years maximum. I'm only expecting to live 50, so not very much time. So, you know, let people, I really firmly believe in letting people navigate the world how they want to, and not putting additional barriers and borders on how it's supposed to be brought up. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Peace and love. As always, like, share, and subscribe. HP Maharaja, signing out. Peace and love, everybody.